Welcome to chapter 64 of Memoirs of a White Guy. That was a very posh cough, wasn't it? That's easily the most fancy start to the podcast of all time. This isn't going to be a fancy podcast. It can't be. My name's Luke.kidgell. That's not how I roll, okay? Welcome to the podcast. If you're new, if you've been here for ages, thanks for sticking around. I never really introduced myself in this podcast. I feel like I should, I've done 64 episodes. I should probably reintroduce myself to all the recent listeners. You probably know by now if you've been listening for even one episode, or even the last 40 seconds, you're probably already realizing that I am one of the most basic people on planet Earth. That's me. So strap in, because I know some of you probably see my videos on Facebook. You probably see me, maybe ignoring a sign, or doing a little sketch on your Facebooks or your YouTubes, and you're probably like, man, that dude has a pretty boring head. I wonder what he's got to say. And then you get into this podcast and you're like, there's no way his personality could be as bland as his head. And then every week I come on this podcast and prove everyone wrong. My head, which is seriously, I'm like a human salada. This shit, I don't know. My head is more sophisticated than my personality, which is embarrassing when I look like quite literally every dude who walks planet Earth. But, every white guy anyway. That's the only thing that's unique about me is that I'm, white, which is the least unique shit ever. So, this is Memoirs of a White Guy. This is the podcast where I just talk about my problems, because I'm white, so I've got heaps of them. And, so strap in, welcome aboard, and if you're old, you guys already knew all that. I mean, put it this way, if you've never listened to this podcast before, I own a Savoy loyalty card. So that's where I'm at in life. And, what I want to talk about this week. Okay, so literally just today, guys. Man, it's been wild. Today has been the most hectic day, and something happened just before I started recording this podcast that pissed me off. I had all this other shit I was going to talk about. I was like, I've got all this stuff to talk about. Let's push all that back, because this is a pressing issue, okay? So I went downstairs at the radio station to buy some food. I bought myself some Oporto, because now I'm into Portuguese food, because I consider that ethnic, because that's how basic I am, right? So I went to get some Oporto, and that's not where the story starts. So yeah, before I went to Oporto, I didn't know if I wanted, that had nothing to do with the story. I think I just wanted to brag about being into a Portuguese themed restaurant, because Lewis got me into it on the radio show. If you didn't hear that, Lewis took me on a couple's date there. Anyway, long story. Where does the story actually begin? Okay, so I went down from the radio station, right, and I was hungry. But I didn't decide I wanted a porter yet. First, I went into Coles. I was like, maybe I'll just get something small. So I started just browsing the savory section. I was like, I don't know, I could get a packet of biscuits or some chips, or I don't know. I was just started browsing, and then this guy sat next to me, and we're both just standing there in the savory chip aisle, just staring at Savoys and Jatz biscuits. And I had my arms crossed, and I was like, I wasn't actually deciding if I wanted a Savoy or a Jatz, because I'm not an idiot, alright? I'm a Savoy boy 10 times out of 10, alright? You'll never catch me eating a Jatz, I swear to God. I don't think there's ever, I've had a Jatz before, but I'll never be caught on photo, video, or even on a security cam eating a Jatz, alright? Because I'm not a Jatz dog. But this guy was sitting next to me, another old guy, he had a basket, he had some other stuff with him, and he thought that we were both making the decision process of whether or not we were going to get Savoys or Jatz. And he's looking at me what should we go with here? Same price, but Savoys, Jatz, I don't really know the difference. I know the fucking difference. Alright, Jatz is shit. Alright, I'm Savoys all the way. Every time. But he thought we were making the same decision. I'm not thinking that at all. I'm standing looking at the food going dude, I don't know whether or not I'm even feeling Savoys, or maybe I should go get something more, like a Porto, which I then ended up doing. But I wasn't making the same decision as him. So don't put us in this group we're deciding if we're not going to eat a Jatz or not, okay? Don't fucking put me on your little Jatz club. So, and then he goes to me, right? So I lean down, I go to get a Savoy, then I kind of hesitate, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really want food. But he sees that as hesitation. Like, he thinks I've gone, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll get a Jatz. No way, man. We are not on the same page here. So then he goes to me, oh, decided to go the Jatz, are we? And I was like, oh, nah, I'm more of a Savoy boy. Because obviously that's what you say to people if they accuse you of being a Jatz dog. So, and then he's like, oh, can't say I'm the same myself, mate. Jatz all the way. And then I'm just thinking, like, why the fuck did you take so long to decide then? If you wanted a Savoy or Jatz? Like, if you're a Jatz boy all the way. And also, don't speak to me, you Jatz dog. Alright, get your shit tasting savoury chips. I don't even know they're chips. Savoury bickies out of here. Okay? And then, after saying that, the dude has the nerve, the balls on this dude, to follow that up with, oh, I don't know, man. You look like more of a Jatz guy to me. What? That is the rudest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Just insulting me right to my face, man. Like, the balls on that dude to just come out and say, oh, you look like more of a Jatz guy. How about you fuck off and take your Jatz with you, you dog? Alright, like, granted, I've never been insulted or oppressed, but that was still the rudest shit ever. Like, do I look, I don't know, I guess, like, I'm basic, but doesn't that mean I look like a Savoy boy? Dude, okay, by the way, if you're listening to this right now and really fucking confused, if you're from another country, I should probably mention that, Savoys and Jatz are like the same biscuit. But like literally the same packaging, but one says Savoy on it and one says Jatz on it. And honestly, I have no idea why, but you know, like, fuck Jatz and all. Like, there's absolutely no difference. You know what, I'm gonna Google it, okay? I bet you there's a different. What is the difference between Jatz and Savoys? Alright. Click on the first article. It says they're reasonably similar. I know that shit, obviously. That's why I'm having this discussion. Okay, I got it. Okay, so Jatz contain full cream milk powder and malt, while Savoy contains golden syrup instead of malt. Yeah, I don't want malt on that shit. Give me golden syrup over malt any day. I don't even know what malt is. Sounds disgusting. Malt. I'm looking at it now. Oh, it's cereal grain. Yeah, fuck that off with your Jatz. That dude has accused me of... That's what he's actually accused me of. He's accused me of preferring full cream milk and malt over golden syrup. Man, I'll take golden syrup any day of the week. Alright, so that pissed me off before this thing. If you're not from Australia, you will be like, that's confusing, that whole anecdote that I just told. But if you're from Australia, and you know what, most of you are probably Savoy boys out there, okay, or girls, doesn't matter, you're still a Savoy boy, because girls doesn't rhyme, unfortunately. Like, if it was like Seville girl, I would be a Seville girl, but it's Savoy boy, so, you know, I didn't name it, alright? Who did? Arnott's or some shit. I don't know. Why did they even, like, release Jatz? Like, it's an inferior version of Savoy. You know what Jatz is? It's like, okay, take the Madden brothers, right, from Good Charlotte. Okay, Savoy is Joel Madden, like the lead singer, and then Jatz is like Benji Madden, sitting at the back playing guitar, who's like, yeah, I'm his brother, and we look the same, like, girls just think I'm him. Like, that's what Jatz is. Jatz is like the shitty brother who's like, yeah, but I write some of the riffs myself. It's like, yeah, shut the fuck up. You didn't sing Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, alright? You didn't get that high and I Just Want to Live. It's not you going, I just want to live. It's fucking, it's Joel, who's Joel's doing the work out the front, alright? So that's Jatz, just hanging at the back, playing chords, pretending they're in a pop punk band. And then their fucking drummers like Clicks Clicks Biscuits just drumming at the back like, why the fuck doesn't anyone want to speak to me? None of the groupies want to hook up with me. Oh man, that's the funniest shit. If you don't know what a Clicks Biscuit is, trust me, that was a good reference. Clicks is like they're Clicks is like the retarded third cousin of Jatz and Savoys. Oh, sorry, Savoys are like the main, then it's the little brother, and then it's like Clicks is like their... You know what? No, Clicks isn't even their third cousin. It's like... Clicks is like their neighbor who like their parents forced them to be friends with. And it's like, dude, no one... Like, he doesn't even go to my school. This sucks. I don't want to hang out with this kid. That's Clicks as a biscuit, alright? Anyway, so the bottom of the story is... Don't accuse me, random dude, alright, for being a Jatz dog, alright? I'm a Savoy boy, through and through. You'll never catch me. You wouldn't even catch me dead eating a Jatz, alright? Because I'm pretty sure I don't know, I'd be dead, so I guess it wouldn't really matter. But the point is, man, I was so offended. Was that 10 minutes of the podcast just talking about Jatz? Man. You know what? I was about to say that's a waste of time, but that's probably time well spent. And, even listening to that, you're probably just like, man, I can't believe, I totally get where Luke's coming from. I can't believe the arrogance of that guy. So I think we're all on the same page here. Even if you don't even know what I'm talking about, I've now educated you on a classic Australian chip/biscuit, which is Savoys. It's like a baked round thing. It's kind of brown. Has like salt on the top, kinda. I don't really know how to describe it, but anyway. So what else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, so and then I went to get a Porto, right? Because I was so mad that this dude even accused me of like being a Jatz dog. I couldn't even celebrate and become a Savoy boy. Although I did want to prove him wrong right in front of him, just buy a Savoy. But I was so cut, I just made an impulse decision and walked out and went and got a Porto instead because I was too hungry. Like, I'm a Savoy boy, but like only when I'm snacky. All right, otherwise I'm eating a meal. So anyway, so I was walking to a Porto, and literally just after that, I saw another thing that blew my mind. Okay, I saw a middle-aged lad, like a dude who was like nearing 50. You know what? I bet you. Okay, that was probably the drugs. He was probably like 45, right? And he was balding. He had tattoo sleeves all down his like arms. He was wearing little short shorts, a Ralph Lauren polo, probably fake. He had Nike Airs on, white Nike Air Max, and kind of loosened, like you couldn't even play basketball in them or you'd slip out of them. And he was smoking, and he had like a bum bag, like satchel thing, just like around, they wear it around themselves, like a bloody ribbon in school sport, like a PE ribbon. And like he was wearing this like Nike satchel, and he was like, like lads walk, they like full on bounce when they walk. He was doing that like lad walk, and I was like, dude, you're 45. Like how? Like he probably has kids. Like he probably goes home to his kid, or maybe that's what he had in his bum bag, like nappies or some shit. Maybe it was actually like a really useful bum bag. But I'm just like, you know what? There's no excuse for acting like that, okay? And like he was jaywalking and shit, which is fine, but he was like making it obvious. He was like going up, hitting the thing, and then he actually said out loud to no one, "Oh, fuck it." And then he just kept walking. And I was like, you're almost 50, man. Like, he's gonna have his 50th, like, use my list at Cloud9, man. Like what's, how do you have my point is, how do you have a midlife crisis and then go, I'm gonna become a Darrow youth who society dictates as the worst human? Like, I want to be that for a year. Because that's totally what he's done. He was balding, man. He had like a buzz cut, so he had it shaved at the side, and he had that like ratty kind of Dustin Martin type like haircut with the little mullet, but he was like balding up the top. Just don't pretend you're hard, like you're a hard nut when I can see like your upper cranium. Okay, that's not on. Like, put an Adidas hat over that shit. Alright? Dude, it was the most embarrassing thing I've seen all day. I dress like a Kmart kid model. Like, I dressed like one of those kids in a Kmart catalog, and I like felt mature standing next to him. I was like, man, I'm so grown up today in my chinos and also my Nikes, but they're not Airs because I'm not a douchebag. Actually, Lewis wears Nike Airs. See, my point stands. I'm not a douchebag. So Lewis and him have the same. If you have the same footwear choice as Lewis, okay, honestly, get some respect for yourself, okay? You're 45. Lewis, like, barely gets away with it when he's like, what? He's like 23. Okay, this dude's like 22 years at least older than him, and he's rocking like similar kicks. Fucking hell, man. Go home to your... Put those nappies on your kid, alright? And change that... Switch that bloody bum bag out for a bloody backpack. I hate that shit. I was on a... this sucked, man. I was on a bus the other day because I hate buses. So I usually drive places, but I was going in. I had to go to a gig, and then I was going on 21st. So I was like, I'll catch the train in. And I get to the train station, and there was replacement buses. So I got on this bus for a bit, and these ratty 16-year-old kids are next to me, and they're just like, hey, bro, like, where'd you get that bum bag from, man? He's like, I got it from like $4 from this place, dude. Like, you should go check it out. And they were just comparing bum bags, and I was like, Don't be, and like the other guy was like, oh, fucking sick, man. I'm like, he just said it cost $4. That's not fucking sick. Pretty much not, like, you can never impress me with anything that costs $4. You're like, hey, man, look at this bloody paddle pop, bro. Like, oh, that's fucking sick, man. Like, that's like the only good thing for $4. And then the kid comes out with, like, the best shit. I kid you not, one of these laddie kids, and now I'm talking about the kids on the bus. Fuck that other guy. I didn't really speak to him. I just saw him and I was embarrassed for him. But these kids on the bus, man, these ratty kids, one of them comes out with just the saddest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Man, he was talking to his mate. He was like, dude, there's nothing better than a $30 slab of Melbourne Bitter. I'll tell you what, there's nothing better. And I was like, oh yeah? You live in a free country with basic human rights. I don't know, like, there's heaps shit better. Like, penguins, better than a $30 slab of Melbourne Bitter. Okay, by the way, Melbourne Bitter is the shittest beer of all time. But don't even get me started. Okay, it's $30 slab, I'll give you that. That's a cheap slab. Good on you. You're a bargain hunter. Well done, you little saver. Go get him, alright? Put that extra $20 in your piggy bank so you can spend it on darts tomorrow, okay? Go get him, Tiger. But the point is, there's nothing better than a $30 slab of Melbourne Bitter. Have you even seen The Shawshank Redemption? What's wrong with you, man? There's, like, way better shit, okay? You know what else is better than a $30 slab of Melbourne Bitter? A $28 slab of Melbourne Bitter, or a $60 slab of fucking anything else is better than a $30 slab of Melbourne Bitter, okay? And you can't come, and they cracked it open on the bus as well. That was disgusting. Watching a kid, like, well, I'm 21, so 5 years younger than me. He's almost my age as well. Like, 5 years younger than me, crack one open on a bus. And I was just like, you're gonna be the dude when you're 45. Like, I saw him in, you know what, maybe he time traveled today, and that's who I saw on the street, okay? You're him. Don't want to be him. It was like 3 p.m. as well. That pissed me off. Just the whole thing. Anyway, sorry, this first part of this podcast, me just getting mad at the bloody kids. They're on my lawn and they're drinking on the bus, and the youth are just millennials these days. Am I fucking right? Oh, anyway. Dude, like, this podcast, like, starts off, like, really loose. I'm, like, cool, relatable, talking about Savoys and Jatz, and then it just turns into 3AW talk back real fucking quick. Alright, it's just like, oh, mate, give us a call if you're bloody seeing a youth drinking on the trains. It's like, yeah, we need a bloody ban it. It is banned, but you still need a bloody ban it. We need to enforce it, get the PSOs. It's not their fucking job, alright? Dude, my parents listen to that 3AW shit. Like, I wake up every morning at 6, and then Dad's just like, I just hear it. Like, it's like, oh, and the youth did this, and it's just like, dude, it's 6 in the morning. I don't need to hear what a piece of shit my generation is, alright? I'm just trying to take a piss and then go back to bed. Oh, man. 3AW shits me to tears. Like, that's when you know you're old. That's when you know you've absolutely hit just, like, new levels of old, is when you're like, oh, I wonder what's happening on the AM dial. I mean, I could listen to bloody like Nova or Triple M or anything but that, but no, I'll just switch it over to AM and see what's going on. Oh, Mali Muslims, and oh, this is pretty fucking relatable, isn't it? Like, that's when you know you're old. When you just, like, hear some white dude trying to, like, be like, who's not in the government, just talking about that shit. And then other people, that's what pisses me off. Fair enough if the presenters give, like, a researched opinion on that show. And I'm not saying all the shows from 3AW. I actually think some of them are quite good. I forget who the dude is. It's not, I don't know, Neil Mitchell. I don't want to say a name because, I don't know, I don't really know who they are. There's this one dude on there who's he's a moron. And he knows it too. I think that's his whole thing. And he just gets people to call in. And by the end of the night, you just listen to, like, regular people like me call in with an actual opinion. It's like if I put this podcast on the radio. Actually, you know what? I have a radio show, so who am I talking? But it's not on Talkback. That's what I'm saying. If you want to listen to trash like that, chuck it on Triple M Modern Digital. Alright, that's the place for that shit. Anyway, I'm going to move on. During the week, I ruined my laptop. It was so mad. I was pissed off. So we're at the radio station, and I don't know what happened. My bottle must have leaked. I think my water bottle leaked. And I have, like, this bag with, like, a leather bottom at the moment. So the water, if it was like a cotton bottom to the bag, the water just would have kind of dripped through the bag and got absorbed, and it wouldn't have made a huge puddle. But the water just leaked everywhere in my bag, and it ruined heaps of shit. I had my laptop in there. Lucky I didn't have my camera in there. And also my laptop's pretty new, and I bought like the most expensive one. And then now like the screen's like, it still works, but like the screen is like, it looks like I've tried to watermark my laptop. Like I've done a water painting on it, or I've just, you know what it looks like? It looks like I poured water down the front, because that's exactly what I did. So there's huge water stains on there. And then, yeah, just shit got everywhere, right? So, because there was a puddle in the bottom of my bag. And the only reason I felt it, right? So I was walking down the corridor in the building, and then I was wearing shorts, and I felt a drip from my, I didn't realize at the time, but I felt a drip running down my leg. And I was like, felt back my leg, and I was like, why is there a drip running down my leg? And then I was like, oh, I must have walked past the radiator or something in the building and it's leaking. And then I felt another drip like 10 seconds later. And I was like, have I shat myself? Oh my God, I've shat myself. And I didn't even notice. Like that would, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, how did I manage to shit myself without even realizing? So I started like feeling like my ass, and I was like, I haven't shat myself. And then I was like, oh, my backpack's leaking. I can't believe, like, I don't know if that's worrying, that I'm jumping to shitting myself before checking to see, oh, is my backpack wet? But anyway, I thought I shat myself. Yeah, and I was kind of relieved at first. I was like, oh, thank God I didn't shit myself. And then I was like, oh no, my laptop's in there, and then my laptop's ruined. It'll probably cost me like over $500 to fix. And now I'm wishing I had just shat myself in the office. So, so that sucks. But I called Apple, right? And you know, if you're an old-time fan of the podcast, you know me and Apple have had our differences in the past, okay? Me and Apple, we're not even like old friends, really, because I've never really liked them. They're just like, I don't know, who's someone in your life you want to constantly throat punch or roundhouse kick, you know, in the teeth. Whoever that person is in your life, that's like Apple in my life. Okay, so I got on the phone to them. At first, I went on their website. I was like, you know what? I'm going to book in a repair. That'll be easy. I'll go on their website, go through their easy, user-friendly repair booking system, or whatever. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be a bloody breeze. It's going to be a walk in the park. I'm going to be done in no time. So I log on, apple.com, and then I press enter. I'm like, oh, I'm already booking it. And then it gets to actually booking your appointment, and then there's none left. And it's like, oh, your appointment's busy. So I was like, all right, I'll check the next day. And then the next day. And then they only let you book a week in advance, but it's constantly booked out a week in advance because the employees have can book it in manually over the phone, right? So I was like, oh man, I'll have to give them a call and book in that way. So I called the number, got put on hold for ages, and then I finally got onto some guy, and he's like, yeah, mate, let's make a booking right now. I was like, oh, mate, you're a champ. You're a bloody lifesaver. Let's get the ball rolling. And then he goes, oh, there's no appointments left. And I'm like, yes, yeah, obviously I've checked online in the next week. And he goes, oh, no, I just have the same screen that you do. I'm like, oh, are you just doing it through their website? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, right, so you just work for the biggest company in the world, and they can't even afford their own employees a different fucking booking system. So you're just doing it through apple.com. He's like, that's correct, yes. What? I'm like, sure, you can book it 2 weeks in advance. I was like, yeah, man, just book it for 2 weeks. I'll take anything. I just really need to get it fixed. It's ruining my work. I can't do anything on it. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll try, man. So he looks up. He goes, oh, what about this Apple store that's like 80 kilometers away from where you live? No, I don't know, like, yeah, and then eventually I was like, yeah, man, what about that one 80 kilometers away? And he's like, oh, well, there's a booking at 1 p.m. next Thursday, and I was like, oh, I'm at work or whatever, and then he's like, oh, okay, cool, man, I'm sure we could work something out. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I just ended up with him going, maybe just try the website again tomorrow, man. This is the biggest company in the world, alright, and you're making me, whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it again. So I've been trying all week. Long story short, you can't book in a repair at Apple, at any Apple store, with a Mac for some reason, before Christmas. Because then I spoke to some guy on the phone who's like, oh yeah, we're usually pretty busy with repairs this time of year. Why? Like, I get you'd be busier in the store because everyone's buying people Apple shit for Christmas. But, like, wouldn't that mean you'd be busier in, like, February or March? When, like, everyone's shit starts breaking? Because the shit lasts for, like, a week? No, like, they're like, oh no, we have a lot of people trying to get stuff fixed before Christmas. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand that. Because it's like, why would more people shit break this time of year than any other time of year? Like, do more people accidentally leave water in their backpacks and think they shat themselves? It's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's ever happened to. So I don't know how it's busier. But anyway, I can't even book my laptop in. So now my laptop's just fucked for like the next month till after Christmas. So, bloody, you know what? People say, God, it must be easy being white. You know what? Oh, this is how white I am. I had to go back and use my spare Mac. I like my old one. It broke and I was pissed off. And then my mum was like, oh, why don't you just use your other Mac? And I was like, oh, which one? My desktop or my old laptop? She's like, well, either of them. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a really good point, Mum. But I'm such an arsehole that I'm like, oh, well, the reason I got a new one is because my old one I couldn't even edit videos on it because it was too slow and it was heating up. It sounded like it was about to take off every time I like did anything. Like I open a Word document and it just sit on that rainbow wheel for 45 minutes and just like, dude, I'm opening a Word document. And then you type like one word and it'll be like, hang on a sec, just getting down that word. My laptop turned into like some old dude taking notes on a typewriter and write a heading. And he's like, oh, what font did you want? And you're like, oh, just Arial Black, thanks. And then my laptop's like, righto, give us 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes later, he'd come back like, there you go, there's some Arial Black. Sorry, I couldn't find it out the back for you. And you're like, no worries, mate. We'll just type in one word here, just in the Word document. And then my Mac's like, oh, you want to do a word? Oh, well, because you've clicked into the document, we'll have to leave you waiting there for another 10 minutes. So he'd walk away and then he'd come back and be like, rightio, mate, I think we're ready to go now. And you're just like, all right, man, I'll just type one sentence. You're like, once upon a time, there was, and he's like, once, hang on a sec. And you're like, upon. And he's like, yes. Sorry, still writing once. A time, no, sorry, what was it after once? It was upon a time, upon, that's right. Oh, we're loading again. Sorry. And I was like, fuck it, I'm getting a new laptop. I can't deal with this old pensioner Mac dude dictating when or when I can't write a fairy tale. Okay? So yeah, that's why I got a new laptop. So I have to go back to my old laptop now, which is like the widest problem ever. But I just wanted to justify then as to why it was a problem. I know it's not a big problem. It's just a minor one that I'm working through at the moment. I'm going to have to go to a therapy session, man. And not because of my laptop situation, just because someone, eventually a mental health professional is going to listen to this podcast and just like start diagnosing me with shit. I don't know if like you can be diagnosed with being a self-important asshole, but I think I'm like chronic at this stage. I'm like at the point where there's no turning back now. Oh man, this is just another thing I wanted to complain about, but maybe I'll do it at the end, just because like I'm actually got a headache from complaining. I have another thing to complain about, but I'll do it at the end. Okay, I want to talk about, so obviously each week I gather stories from the week in which I get sent to my email address, but I cannot talk about them on radio. Like, it gets sent to my email address with the intent of like, oh, this would be good content for your radio show. And then I read it, and I'm just like, yeah, if I talked about this, I would get fired, but maybe even go to jail, because I'm about to say some heinous shit. So yeah, these are two news stories I read during the week, but I can't say, oh fucking hell, man. When I just had a drink of water, I literally just spilt water all over my Mac. Again, hang on, I've got to wipe this shit up. Oh, man. I've done it again. It wasn't as bad as last time. It went in the speaker this time. Dude. This is what happens. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. That's the problem. The podcast, you know what? I was about to put my water bottle on the radio panel, which is probably worth like $100,000. So you know what? I'm going to put my water bottle here, nowhere near it. Alright, back to the podcast. Sorry guys, had a second water incident. Now the first news story that caught my eye that I definitely couldn't talk about on radio was an Irish village claims fumes from a nearby Viagra factory are giving men and dogs erections. There's people in Ireland right now vaping Viagra, just walking around with their dicks stiff, just going, man, why am I so horny all the time? Like, that's crazy. That's one of the best news headlines I've ever read. You can just imagine them all. Just like walking around rock hard, just like, oh, hey, you're a bit hard there, laddie. He's like, yes. Every time I walk past that bloody factory on the hill, I just get fucking rock hard. I can't explain it. And my dog does it too. I don't know if I'm getting hard over the dog or hard over the fumes. And then the guy's like, yes, me too. And then they like compare dicks and shit. I don't know how it goes down, but either way, that's crazy, man. That's not happening here. I tell you what, I'm never walking around the street and I just like see a dog that's rock hard. Oh, well, that happens. I usually see a dog that's rock hard, and then that's the reason I get rock hard. It's never like at the same time. Like I never like see a dog fucking popping a stiffy on the road and I'm just like, oh, same bro, like same time, what? And the hype, like fist pump the dog and then just walk away. But yeah, vaping Viagra, that would have been a banging radio segment. I don't know, like there's so many ways you could go there. Just like, I don't know, you could, I mean, what's the factory? It was a Viagra factory, but dude, does that mean everyone at the factory is just constantly like hard? Imagine working in HR at the Viagra factory. Like your name's Brian, you just got a desk job in HR and you get put in at the Viagra factory, and then Kathy comes in, she's like, excuse me, Brian, Dennis has got a hard on again. And then Brian just spins around in his chair and he's also got like a massive erection, and he has to take her complaint seriously. He's like, oh, was it a fume erection or was he looking at your tits? And then Kathy's like, oh, I'm not sure, but he keeps staring at me. And you're like, oh, that's probably a tit erection. So then he has to like look at the security cams and like wonder where the erection was coming from while he's still rock hard trying to concentrate and not wank over Kathy's tits. That would be just the hardest job of all time. I mean, people say mining is hard or being in the military. Being in HR at the Viagra factory, Jesus Christ, they don't pay those souls enough. I mean, the one perk is you get to be rock hard all day and no one can report you because you are HR. I mean, can you be rock hard in any job if you're the HR manager? Who's going to report you? Like what? Some guy's going to be like, oh, I need to speak to HR. So you just like go, no worries, mate. There's the phone number to HR. Give us a call anytime. I'll be bloody rock hard when you do though. So maybe don't call me between 9 to 5 if we're at the Viagra factory. But anytime after that, I'll be able to bloody concentrate. So, anyway, so that was a good news story. What was the second one? That was another banger that they got sent during the week. Let me see. Alright, okay, it is. The second one is more than a quarter of millennials would replace a human over a droid. Would replace a human with a droid, according to a new report. So, more than 25% of people, supposedly my generation, would replace an actual human with bloody C-3PO and R2-D2, just a three-way. I mean, obviously that's the only one you'd do. But, like, if they're not famous, then what are you doing it for? Okay, like, I get if you're fucking C-3PO for that droid fame, but I don't know. I think there's better human. Any human's better than a non-famous droid. That's all I'm saying. And also, like, I read the study, right? I actually read into this one. The other one, just read the headline, thought it was hilarious. But this one delved in a bit more just because I was curious. Apparently they interviewed 12,000 people. I was like, oh, they probably just like asked like 4 of their mates, and then one of them was like, yeah, I'd fuck a robot. But no, it's an actual study that was done by like this university. It's like, where did you find these 12,000 people? Like at a fucking World of Warcraft convention? Like who? I don't know anyone my age who were dead set like bang a droid. What? Like it's artificial intelligence. I don't get how you could like, you can't, I don't know, you can't come on a robot and then be like, that was good. I don't even like you. No, you know what? You can't come on a robot full stop. I mean, it'd ruin its circuits for starters, so it'd be a one-time use thing. You have to get like a disposable droid that you can throw out after every cum. But yeah, like where are they finding the 12? Like that means 12,000 people, a quarter of them. That means over 3,000 of them were like, yeah, I would replace a human lover with bloody Terminator, or like how do you watch that Will Smith movie, I, Robot, and just like look at them all standing there in lines and just like, oh damn, that ass is popping. Oh, like, and genuinely like, man, one of those over a human any day of the week. Bloody humans are a real Jatz. Droids are the new Savoys. Like, that's, who's thinking that? No, like, I didn't think anyone was thinking that. This study blew my mind, and then I delved into it even further. This study was conducted in the UK, and I was like, oh, there it is. It rains all the time. They don't want to get out. They don't want to meet people. Yeah, you live in the UK, you fucking robot. Totally get it. So, yeah, I know a lot of people listen to this podcast in the UK. You're probably not even concentrating right now. You're probably fucking your phone or something, but you know, because that's the closest thing you probably have to a robot. So I know you're probably half listening right now, but if you can hear me through all the pumping and the thrusting, just, I don't know, just let it know that I don't respect you, but I understand. So I just wanted to say that to all my UK listeners. Keep doing it. No judgment. Everyone's human, and obviously your lover's a robot. So that's less acceptable. But yeah. Anyway, each to their own. Buddy, I don't have a. Well, I was about to say I don't have a preference, but I do. It's humans. I should probably do like a big press release, like just a public statement. I, Luke Kidgell, confess that I am into human beings, and everyone will be like, oh my god. You know, like now, in a few years, already a quarter of the people are into robots. I'm going to be a minority, okay? I'm going to be walking down the street with my human girlfriend, and all these robots and like their bloody girlfriends and boyfriends just going to be like, this dude is fucking whack. Like, has he never... Like, I guess what? What's the benefits of being with a droid over a human? Like, unless you, I don't know, drive an X-Wing to work, like, really, there's no point in having R2-D2. Like, I don't know, unless you wanted, like... I guess a droid probably wouldn't have many, like, boundaries in the bedroom. Depends what you're into, I guess. Bloody robot rimmies by the sound of it. A lot of people. So, alright, I need to do white thoughts. I haven't done white thoughts in ages. It's that time of the podcast. So white thoughts is pretty much the whole podcast is white thoughts, but it's the time where I really break it down and pretend it's a segment, not just like this for 50 minutes. But it's about where just thoughts I have during the week where I find myself thinking about things and I'm like, dude, I swear if I wasn't this privileged and I wasn't this just like... I just have way too much time on my hands. Because I have no problems. Like, I guess like the Apple shit. You know, that was like my biggest problem this week. So I'll just find myself thinking about shit that I feel like other people who do have problems spend their time thinking about. But instead, I just substitute that time with like, oh, that's a bit weird. And then I tell you guys every week. So this is White Thoughts. Here is the opener for White Thoughts, which we haven't heard in a few weeks. Yo, DJ Khaled, another one. White thoughts. White. I look like a Jew, all I get is white thoughts. White. All I do is eat sushi on a fork. That is right. This is White Thoughts. So, I had an email sent in this week regarding White Thoughts. It is from Will. Okay, it's from Will. Cool. So Will said, "G'day Luke, I have an idea for a theme song for White Thoughts. It should be a rendition of the Living End's White Noise. However, instead of the lyrics being all..." I get it, man. You could have just said that. But he's then gone on to explain how I'd indeed parody the song. "All I'm hearing from you is white thoughts. Yeah, I get it. Thank you for explaining it in case I was unsure. Yeah, okay, maybe we'll try that intro next week if I can be bothered. I like that one. All I'm hearing from you is white thoughts. Hey, actually, that's better. That's way better than wild thoughts or whatever. He said, "It's just an idea, but I think it's a good one." Bloody cracker of an idea, Will. Thanks for sending it in. Now, a few of you have been sending me your white thoughts, but I don't know who you are because you send them to me on Snapchat most of the time. So you know, I can't be bothered finding most of them. I'll literally just read off the best one I found, which was, "Why does Frogger die when he lands in the water?" So you know the game Frogger, the arcade game that you play at pizza shops, alright, or at an arcade place, or if you own an arcade game. You probably played Frogger, the one where you hop across the road first, then you go and you jump on the wood logs that go across, and you got to make it up to the top of the screen. And I've never thought about this. Why does Frogger die when? Because you got to land on the logs and the lily pads, right, to get across. But if you hit the water, you're dead. Frogs can swim, like they're amphibious animals. It makes no sense. Fair enough if you get hit by a truck, I get why you die then. Always avoid the trucks. But really, it'd be probably safer for the frog to actually go under the logs to avoid other predators. So that's a great white thought. I've never thought about that before. That's bloody white as hell. Thanks for that, whoever sent that one in. That was my favourite. Dude, that blew my mind. Okay, I've been thinking about that all week. I don't know if I have any more, really. I think I should have had them ready. This one, you know what? This one's not really... I think that's the only white thought that I can remember. I got them on my phone. I need to sort it out during the week. I got to go. It's already like 8:30. And I'm still at the radio station. And I've been here for bloody 12 hours. So I'll organise it next week, hopefully. But thank you. Keep sending in your white thoughts. It's better if you send them into my email, luke.kidgell@gmail.com. I always read out the emails. It's just when you send me shit on Snapchat, I screenshot it. And then I have to go find it in my camera roll, okay? Through a bunch of filthy bloody memes. Just gotta scroll through all the dumb shit I've done this week and remind myself what a piece of shit I am. So, just send it to my email, luke.kidgell@gmail.com. Here's an email. It's kind of to do with white thoughts. Someone had the audacity, the balls. This was ballsier than what the guy said to me. This was ballsier than the Jatz dog, alright? And someone sent me this email during the week. Man, I was seething by the end of it, okay? So I'm about to get real mad. Alright, it's from Cody. Hi, Luke. I noticed how much you like to flaunt your basicness. Well, it's not even flaunting. I just talk about my life, so I guess I flaunt it. I'm proud of it. You're right. I do flaunt my basicness, and that's probably one of the most sophisticated things about me. So I'm proud of that too. But my younger brother simply out-basics you. That's the opening line of the email. Don't step, children, okay? That's all I'm saying. If you think that you know someone more basic than me, be my guest. But I'll ask you one thing. Firstly, do they own a Savoy loyalty card? If they don't even bother to email. Don't send it in, alright? Just fuck off. I don't want to hear it. And this guy, yes, his story goes on to be fairly basic. But I'm the king. What do you mean? I wear Ugg boots outside. I don't understand why people are coming to me saying, I know someone more basic than you. I'll continue the email, but that's all I'm saying. Right now, I'm already mad. This is what happened when I read it. I was like, Cody, I appreciate you listening to my podcast, and I appreciate you sending me an email. Love the correspondence. But how fucking dare you? Alright? He's probably a Jatz dog. Cody and his brother. Our family sometimes goes out to buffet restaurants for dinner. That's pretty basic. The dessert bar has a huge array of toppings. Sauces, cakes, ice creams, and all that shit. But every time my brother comes back to the table with a bowl full of plain vanilla ice cream and nothing else. And doesn't even get a fucking cone. Oh man, not even sprinkles. Which is honestly a disgrace to our whole family. Should we disown him? That's all I had to say. Keep popping those shackers, mate. Mate, you've redeemed yourself at the end because you're popping on them haters and I bloody love that. But, you know what? I'm not mad at you, Cody. Well, I am because you are insisting that your brother's more basic than me. Now, I'm not an idiot, alright? I'm going to acknowledge, I might be basic, but I'm not a fool. I'm going to acknowledge that coming back at a buffet with a plain bowl of ice cream, not even a cone, without sprinkles, and it's vanilla. You didn't even get the Neapolitan. That's a basic move, okay? And I'll grant you that. Maybe I'll give you you're more basic than me at a buffet. But you know what? I actually read that email and was like, that sounds delicious. Wow, you don't need sprinkles to ruin it. But sometimes I also go a bit crazy and I do put sprinkles on my vanilla. I don't want to brag, but sometimes. So sometimes I get a bit wild, but usually that actually would be probably what I do. But firstly, to answer your question, you should definitely disown him. Now, if you haven't already, Cody, try and get it legally disowned. Try and unaffiliate yourself. Put it this way, try and unaffiliate him with the family, but if you guys can't do that, just unaffiliate yourself with your family and be like, hey, no hard feelings, mum and dad, my brother's just a basic piece of shit. It's not my fault you guys raised him. So maybe do that. Yeah, definitely disown your brother. Dude, my brother disowned me ages ago, okay? Like, as soon as I started, like, I don't know, as soon as I bought a Yeezy hat, man, a fake Yeezy hat. Okay, that's when my brother disowned me. Alright, so, this is what I want to get into. Cody, I read your email. I don't accept it, but I gave it a chance, and it's me. Okay, the human salada. Dude, I don't even put cheese on my saladas. I just have them straight out of the packet. Like, what do you want me to say? I could argue this all day, okay? I don't like spicy food. I've got a Paramore poster and a Blink-182 frame thing in my room. I took a picture of a mannequin the other day because I liked its outfit. I was like, that happened. Like, I was just like, saw it. I was like, man, those are some dope jeans. What a cool jacket. Click. Just took a photo of it because I thought it was cool. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, literally in the last, like, hour and a half, I signed up to be an Porto member for their rewards program. Alright, less than an hour ago. I got a text now on my phone, like, welcome to a Porto membership. I've been to a Porto twice, okay? But already I was like, man, I want to reap these member rewards. I don't know what you want me to say, dude. I'm the most basic human on the planet, okay? If you were like to me, hey Luke, describe your perfect night. What's your perfect evening? Alright? 7 p.m, I kick into my onesie. It's probably like a Pikachu onesie if it's preferred. And then it's bang, sit down, no television. Okay, maybe a bit of Family Feud on TV with Grant Denyer. Not going to pass that down. And then it's bang, Taylor Swift's third album. As soon as she got pop, you listen to like, or whatever the Shake It Off one was. Maybe her fourth. You do like, you shake it off to Taylor Swift while you're wearing your Ugg boots that you've previously worn outside. Then you get some Uber Eats. What do? Do you go Subway, KFC? You just became a new member at a Porto, which I classify as an ethnic food, okay? You get some Porto just to reap rewards in the future because you're now a new Porto member. And then what happens? Then, we are never, ever, ever getting back. And you know what? You know what you do then? While you're singing, you remember that you had an MSN account back in 2009 and you start logging into that shit. Alright? You log in your long fuck off email that you made when you were 10 and then you see who's on. You start sending people coolies in like the rainbow squiggly text. Alright? And then, you know what you do after that? You go to bed because that night was huge and you can't top that, okay? And then maybe you have some plain vanilla ice cream. Alright? But only just having plain vanilla ice cream. Dude, come back to me when you actually got a basic story, right? You know what? I'm going to challenge you all. If you guys think you can out-basic me during the week, bloody try. Be my guest, okay? Send me emails. I'll read them out next week. But all I'm saying is, good luck, all right? If anyone even comes close to even Cody's brother's level, I mean, I'll be impressed. Because that shit, yeah, that's some white shit. Man, like, that's whiter than the color of your plain vanilla ice cream. Okay, but yeah, dude, if anyone wants to have a crack at the king for the crown of being the blandest human being, be my guest, man. I had wholemeal bread the other day and almost threw up in my mouth. Alright, didn't even have seeds in it, but it wasn't Wonder White. So I just like threw it in the bin, had a fucking Savoy. Okay, so, you know what, yeah, send me luke.kidgell@gmail.com. That's it for the podcast. Alright, so send me an email. Other than that, guys, hope you have a good week. Send me in your white thoughts. And keep slapping those muffs, alright? The muff patrol doesn't end just because I stopped talking about it. If you see a cheeky muff, give it a smack. If you see a Jatz dog, give it an even bigger smack, alright? That's it. I'm out. Have a good one, guys.